Hi, I'm Max Brantley with the Arkansas Times on Friday, February the 16th. A slow news day. The legislature is not meeting today, and that's probably good news for Arkansas. The big news comes out of Washington. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation has produced some big news today. They've indicted 13 Russian nationals and 3 Russian entities for a variety of fraud and identity theft charges for trying to influence the 2016 election. In short, by using fake news on social media and fake rallies and impersonating U.S. citizens to help elect Donald Trump and to help disparage Hillary Clinton. There's no direct ties to the Trump campaign or administration in this, but you have to wonder if something is yet to come. Of course, Donald Trump has said Russian involvement in their elections are fake news, no truth to it. It's past time for him to admit that the Russians are trying to influence our elections. It doesn't necessarily have to mean he was involved, but we need to protect our elections from Russian interference. Robert Mueller or Mueller, as he says the name, my mother was a Mueller, says it's serious things have happened. More to come on that, I'm sure. News also from the New Yorker about Donald Trump, a story about a sexual relationship he had with a Playboy playmate. The news here isn't so much his relationship, which did occur, if it occurs, as she says, after his marriage to his current wife, but it's about how a tabloid publisher paid the woman to be silent about it, then kill the story. If there's a tabloid publisher working to keep unflattering news about Donald Trump out of the paper and publish unflattering news about his opponents, that's a big story. News also about guns, or more precisely, what little is being done about guns. We learned today that the FBI had tips about a proclivity for violence by the man who's suspected of causing the Florida massacre this week and didn't act on it properly according to protocols. That's a bad thing for the FBI and is worth investigating, but those who oppose gun control are using it to avoid talking about gun control. As yet, there isn't a single Republican politician in Congress that I've seen, or in Arkansas, who said we need to take a look at our gun laws. Rob Ryers, who's a 3rd District candidate in Arkansas, a Republican at that, against Steve Womack, says it is time to talk about common sense gun legislation, including a ban on semi-automatic weapons. Strong talk. It might not get him elected in Arkansas, but it perhaps is a conversation we ought to have. People are nervous about guns. At Rogers High School yesterday, they canceled a pep rally because of unsubstantiated rumors about some sort of threat to the school. On Thursday, they arrested a Fayetteville High School student for threatening on Snapchat to do a killing just like it happened in Florida. He said he was joking, but he was arrested just the same. In other news today, the immigration bill remains uncertain. Donald Trump and Tom Cotton, among others, fought bipartisan legislation to deal with the Dreamers, those children who came to America with immigrant parents and whose status is now uncertain. 60 people voted against Trump's punitive immigration bill, but Trump and Cotton want to blame it on the Democrats. There were Republicans voting in that 60 against the Trump bill as well. The long and short of it is all immigrants are now hanging in the balance. Does this mean deportations of all of them are about to begin? It's a sad day for hardworking American residents, that's for sure. Southwest Little Rock last night, 2 people burst into an apartment and tried to rob a man there and killed him before fleeing. No suspects are in custody. There's a rumor going around on social media about some kind of big electric rate increase in Arkansas. The State Public Service Commission is taking pains to issue a news release saying the information is incorrect. Well, it's not wholly incorrect. APNL, Energy Corporation, I live in the past here sometimes, did raise its rates by 3.75% in January. Bad time for a rate increase to affect in a very cold month when gas and electric rates were way up. And they'll file for another rate increase perhaps in July. But the PSC said it's not as bad as social media will have you believe. Tell that to those people that had a big electric bill. And finally, go to arkansasblog.com for a story that I thought was interesting from UA Little Rock today. It's about a prize-winning history paper by a master's degree student there about the desegregation of Fisher's Barbecue in Arkansas and Little Rock back in 1962. The story is interesting because Fisher's Barbecue was a black-owned business, and they had separate dining facilities for white and black customers and had to be pressured by a black group to allow white and black people to eat together. It's sort of an interesting turn on the desegregation story, near and dear to me, because when I came to town, I thought Fisher's Barbecue had the best barbecue sauce ever made anywhere. A good story, including a picture of a couple that got married in Fisher's Barbecue where her parents ran the place back in the 80s. That's the good news for today. Most of the rest of it not so good. We're resisting here. I'm Max Brantley. I'll be back next week.